Live from Paris, and for that I'm joined by our film critic Lisa Nesselson. Hello, Lisa. Now you're here to tell us about the movie releases today here in France, and today we get to see a new American animated feature before Americans do. They'll have to wait until the 7th of March to see Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Is it worth the wait?
I love this movie. The problem with too much animated fare is that it talks down to kids and then it's boring for adults. Mr. Peabody and Sherman avoids those pitfalls on every possible level. It's funny to kids, and it's even funnier to adults, at least it is to this adult. It's based on the wonderful 1960s short cartoons in which Mr. Peabody, who is a genius polymath who happens to be a talking dog, adopted a boy named Sherman, and in their Wayback Machine, they traveled through time visiting watershed moments in history. Now, in the film, they visit ancient Egypt during King Tut's reign, Florence when Leonardo da Vinci happened to be painting the Mona Lisa, Troy at the time of the Trojan War, and Versailles on the eve of a certain revolution. Let's watch.
It's the Palace of Versailles, home of Marie Antoinette. You know, she was mostly famous for one thing.
Cake! I love cake so much! Marie Antoinette sure likes cake, Mr. Peabody.
Indeed she does. Marie was a woman with a prodigious appetite for all things covered with frosting. But her expensive tastes made her the target of much criticism.
Why?
Because, Sherman, during Marie's reign, the common people of France were exceedingly poor.
You've got any bread?
No! I'm exceedingly poor.
Now can we have some cake? May we? Oh, yeah, sorry. May we have some cake? May we? Maybe she can't hear me through the hair.
Sherman, what the Queen means is...
Let them eat cake!
Lisa, I believe the series was famous for its awful puns.
Indeed it was. You know, parents worry about exposing their kids to plague or botulism at an early age, but early exposure to puns is just as dangerous. Trust me on that. Mr. Peabody and Sherman have a close call with the guillotine and an exciting chase through the Paris sewers, and when they're safe again, Mr. Peabody explains to Sherman that Marie Antoinette could have avoided all that unpleasantness if only she'd issued an edict providing bread for the people. But then she couldn't have her cake and edict too. Feel free to groan.
Okay, now also out today is a restored version, a slightly less wholesome look at a life in America.
Slightly less wholesome. If you've never seen David Lynch's Blue Velvet, you've missed one of the most distinctive and weird cinematic objects of the second half of the 20th century. The good news is that while every frame of this movie was a shock to the system back in 1986, it still holds incredible power to entertain and disturb.
I'll have to check it out then. Now, David Lynch doesn't make movies anymore, but he remains famous for his distinctive style. The same way people will call something Hitchcockian, they'll say something is Lynchian.
Excellent point. When we say something is Lynchian, we mean it's jarring and bizarre, although the surface elements really seem pretty normal. A white picket fence, a man watering his lawn, a young man walking through a field and discovering a severed human ear with bugs crawling all over, you know, the usual. Every performance in this movie is exactly right, and the characters may swear a lot in The Recent Wolf of Wall Street, but there are few scarier, foul-mouthed creations in all of filmdom than Dennis Hopper in this movie, and Isabella Rossellini gives a very bold performance that was unlike anything seen in American movies up until then. I have to say, a lot of transgressive images have been created in the three decades since, but the inherent power of these particular juxtapositions has not dimmed. And Lynch has, if you'll excuse the expression, an ear for the iconic power of popular songs. So, if I may, go see Blue Velvet, bum bum bum, a movie that has been restored. Bum bum bum, I'm pretty sure you won't be bored in a pinch if you see this masterpiece by David Lynch. Let's watch.
Okay, thank Thank you very much, Lisa, for telling us about those movies that are out here in France today. That's it for our cultural interlude. It's time now for our daily sports roundup.